Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so today is your second revision session. In this session, we will cover all the portion from week 3 and week 4. That means quadratic functions and polynomials. So I think let's start. It's already 8:06. So in week 3, we discuss about quadratic functions. Quadratic functions means parabolas. What are the different type of parabolas? What is the vertex? What is the axis of symmetry? And if we have a general form of parabola, then how can we judge all of these things using that particular general form? I'll mute you all. If you guys have any doubt, you can raise your hands and then we can talk. Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but second week is not covered in last session.
Second week haven't been I mean, sir covered only first week, the relation part only.
Yeah. Actually, no, ma'am covered only
Okay, ma'am
first.
take.
Yeah.
Only first week is done.
Yeah. Relations.
Okay, so
Concept.
then, okay, sorry, I haven't been aware of that. So we'll start with second, third week, and I'll try to cover up the polynomials as well. Okay, so it's second, third, and then fourth. Although second week just all about the lines and all, so I don't think it will take much time. It won't take more than half an hour, so we can do three. Okay, so
Ma'am,
it's
yesterday we studied about second week also. Ma'am cover
uh,
important topic like SSC.
okay. So let me ask her. I think she covered SSC, right?
Yeah, ma'am. Cover SS.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I don't think in second week we have much of a concepts. I mean, we just have equation of lines,
If
several
someone
types
want,
of.
ma'am, please you can summarize that all. If some.
Okay. So I'll just briefly summarize week 2, and then we go up to week 3 and week 4.
Ma'am, I have confusion. How to, ma'am, find the intercept points between two lines?
Okay, so intercept point between two lines. Okay, I'll give you a general method where you don't have to remember a formula. Okay, so let's start. So I'll meet you all, and then if you have any doubt, you can raise your hand. We'll go. Okay, so let's start. So in week 2, we learn about the equation of lines. So I'll start with the so what is the equation and all those things. We already talk about those things. I mean, what is the motivation behind equation of line and all. Right. So start with the slope intercept form. Slope intercept form. So slope intercept form means if I have a line and I want to express that line using an equation, then I can use the slope of that particular line and the y-intercept of that line. What is a slope? So slope is nothing but change in y upon change in x. So that means if L is a line passing through 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2, then the slope of a line is, I mean, generally denoted by m, and it is equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. And we also derive one formula for slope using the angle between the line and the x-axis. So if angle between the line and the x-axis is theta or alpha, whatever you want, you can take. Then we know that slope is also given by tan of theta. So now if we have a slope and if we have a y-intercept, so what is a y-intercept? Y-intercept means the intersection point between the y-axis and the line. So if we have a y-intercept, so y-intercept will be a point look like something 0, comma c, where c is any constant. Okay. So if we have a slope and y-intercept, then the equation of line look like y is equals to mx plus c. This is the slope intercept form of a line. Now using this form, you can derive all other form of line. That means I mean intercept form of line. That means x by a plus y by b is equals to 1. This is the intercept form where a is the x-intercept and b is the y-intercept. and all other form whatever you want. So this is one thing. Now now if we have two lines, so suppose I have two lines L1 and L2, whose suppose L1 the equation of line of L1 is given by y is equals to m1x plus c1, where m1 is the slope and of L1 and c1 is y-intercept, and the equation of line L2 is given by y is equals to m2x plus c2. Now, if someone asks you to find out the intercept, someone asks you to find out the point of intersection of these 2 points, then what we can do, so first assume that x naught comma y naught is the point of intersection of L1 and L2. Okay. So then what we do, we put in place of x and y, we replace x naught and y naught. So if we replace that, we will get y naught is equals to m1 x naught plus c1, and y naught is equals to m2 x naught plus c2. Okay. Now using these two equations, you can easily find out what is the value of x naught and y naught. So what we do, so we'll just subtract these two equations. So suppose this is equation number 1, equation number 2. So then 1 minus 2 will give us left hand side will right hand side will got subtracted with right hand side. So here we cancel it out, and what we get m1 x naught plus c1 is equals to m2 x naught plus c2. Now from here you can easily compute the value of x naught is nothing but c2 minus c1 upon m2 minus m1 minus m2. Right, this will jump over the left hand side, so minus, and okay. So this is your value of x naught, and using this x naught, you can easily find out what is the value of y naught using one of the equation. So use either 1 or 2, right? So this is a general method for finding out the point of intersection of any two lines. Okay. So this is one thing, and the other concept in week 2 is SSC. So I think we have already talked about SSC, but let's do one recap. So what is SSC? So SSC is nothing but a method to find out what is the error between your data and your expression. So as we already talked about, so if we have a data, then it is always been a question that what will be the particular expression which can justify our data, right? Because if you have a data, then obviously that data will be contain only finitely many points. But in future, if I need some estimation, what is the thing I can use? So I can use only expression, right? Because expression is independent of data. I mean, I can put anything and get an output always. So this is SSC is what? So SSC is a method to find out the error between that particular data and your expression. So suppose you have a line y is equals to mx plus c, and you have some data sets, right? Some table is given to you where y values are there, x values are. Suppose I have n points, y1, y2 up to yn, and x1, x2 up to xn, right? So using this data, then what is the SSC of this particular situation? That means using this expression, this data point is given by this formula. That SSC is nothing but summation over i's ranging from 1 to n. What we have to do, we have to subtract yi minus m of xi minus c, and then square it. That means first we will find out the difference between these two quantities, and then we square it and add all the things. So it is nothing but simply y1 minus mx1 plus c1, plus c, the whole square, and then plus y2 minus mx2 plus c, and plus up to the nth term, yn minus xn mxn plus c. Okay, so this is the general form of SSC. Now over SSC, there could be two type of questions. So first thing is, one expression is given to you and data set is given to you. They just ask you to find out what is the value of SSC. So you have a formula, just put all the values there and compute it. The second kind of question could be asked that if in place of this m or c, they put one of them as a constant, and then they say that find the value of that constant which will make this expression as a best fit. Okay, so what we can do, so on the situation of best fit, we can either use the options, or if you put if you compute the SSC, you will find one expression which uses the c square type of thing. Suppose in my case, suppose c is a constant, then you will get some c square type of expression. That means at the end you will end up with a quadratic form. At the end you will end up with a quadratic equation. And we know that if we have a quadratic equation, then minimum value will always occur at its vertex. Minimum or maximum, whatever case will be there. But in case of SSC, it always be a minimum case. Okay, so what you have to do, you just have to find out the coordinate of vertex. And in this week, we also talk about the area of a triangle. So those things, I think you guys can just go and have a quick recap there, because it only involves formulas. There is nothing conceptual, I guess. Yes, Manish.
Ma'am, in the SSC, you said the formula is yi minus mxi plus c, right?
Oh,
But
no,
you
sorry, minus c. My bad.
so
Sorry. And the square also there. Okay, yes or no? Are you able to unmute yourself? Let's go to Vicky then. Yes, Vicky?
Ma'am, if we do y minus mx plus minus c or mx minus c, like both will be same now because we are doing
square, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to know with respect to x-axis, this thing coordinates are given, then how that equation will happen? That y equal to mx plus c.
Means
So the y, if at all x coordinate is given,
x-intercept is given.
X-intercept, sorry, x-intercept is given, then how
So,
that formula will change?
I think it will change a little bit. I mean, it depends. First, I have to. Okay, so if x-intercept is given to you, so that means point is suppose x-intercept is x naught comma c, right? So if x-intercept is there, then it is x0 comma c. So suppose I have know the slope, like m is known to us. Then if I want to use, if I want to find out the equation of line, then it will be y is equals to mx plus c. But again, the c is unknown for me, right? So I can use this point to calculate the c and then substitute. So if I do that, then y is equals to 0. The point is mx naught and then plus c. So the value of c is minus of mx naught, right? So now you can put here. So if the x-intercept is given to us, then equation of line will be y is equals to m times x minus x naught. This will be the equation of line. Is that fine? Ultimately, I use the that y-intercept equation is, but yeah, you can derive one of the form using anyone. Is that fine for you?
Okay.
Yeah.
There is some formula with the determinant. Something like that is there. Along with that, something is there.
Determinant is not a part of line. I think you went to quadratic
The quadratic
equation.
part.
Here?
That was used.
SSC, in SSC?
Not SSC, not in SSC. I am talking about a straight line. Okay. There is a mix-up. Okay, sorry.
Okay, fine. Let's go to yeah. Someone sent me one question. Yeah, what's your doubt here?
I did this question, but my answer was nowhere near the right answer. Can you please solve this question one time?
Actually, I'll come this at the end only because I have to cover a lot of theory. So at the end, I'll answer this question. Please be patient over that. I mean, this is a part of graded assignment, right? Hello? Okay, you're not able to unmute yourself. Yes. Hello?
Yes, ma'am, it's a part of grade assignment. Week 2.
Yeah, so I'll come to this at the end only.
Okay, ma'am, thank you. No problem.
Yes,
Ma'am,
Ravi.
can you show the screen where you wrote the slope if you have the two line I just noted down the formula only just for a
This one?
Yeah, yes. No, there is an intercept you said, right? If the two line is intersecting, yeah.
This X one.
I'll just take a snip of it at least so that it will be easier. 1 second.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Okay, so let's move toward the week 3 portion. So in week 3, we talk about the quadratic quadratic functions. So quadratic functions mean basically the parabolas and only parabolas. So we actually go through all of the things related to parabolas. That means the zeros of parabola. Zeros means the x-intercept of parabola. What will be the general equation? So the general equation of any quadratic function is given by f of x is equals to ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c are any real number. This is known to be a quadratic function because the power is 2, right? So using this equation, so suppose you have any parabola. So suppose this is your parabola. Then over this parabola, if you find a point along which if you draw a vertical line, and if the both of the two wings of parabola are symmetric to with respect to this line, then this line is known to be the axis of symmetry. And the intersection point between the axis of symmetry and parabola is known to be the vertex. Right? So if we have a general equation of parabola, then we know that the equation of axis of symmetry is given by x is equals to minus b by 2a. And the vertex equation, I mean the vertex coordinate is given by minus b by 2a, comma, whatever the value function will possess at this point, minus b by 2. Okay, so these two things are important regarding to with respect to a parabola. Now, using the equation of parabola, we try to understand how this parabola will look like. Okay, so for that we have to use the discriminant. That means okay, so let's talk about zeros first, then we go to discriminant. So suppose I have a parabola f of x is equals to ax square plus bx plus c. Then we know that we have a particular formula for computing the zeros of this parabola. That formula goes like suppose the alpha and beta are two zeros. Two zeros. So the 1 0 will be alpha is equals to minus b plus under the root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. And another 0 is given by beta is equals to minus b minus under the root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. This is also known as Sridharacharya formula. Right? So if we have two zeros, then we can explicitly compute these two zeros of any quadratic function. Now here there is one term involved, which is this b square minus 4ac. This b square minus 4ac is known to be the determinant of a parabola or quadratic function. Now this plays a major role to look how our parabola actually looks. I mean, where our parabola actually is situated. Right? So now before that, let's talk about this a. So if a parabola is given to you and the sign of that parabola, that means this value of a is greater than or equal to 0, that means it is positive. Obviously, it's a parabola, it's a quadratic equation. So there's a can't be equal to 0. A is not equal to 0. So here we can consider that a is strictly greater than 0. So if a parabola is given to you and a is strictly greater than or equal to 0, then we know that it's an upward facing parabola. It will be look like something like this, upward facing parabola. Now, if a is less than 0, then it is obviously a downward facing parabola. Right? So something look like this. So this is just because observing the sign of a. Now, this is the thing, we can observe the sign of a and judge it's an upward parabola or downward parabola. Now, if we have a parabola for which the value of b square minus 4ac is strictly greater than 0, that means it is positive. So if b square minus 4ac is positive, then in this formula you can judge that this under the root is well defined. Right? Well defined means it will be a real number. So if it will be a real number, then alpha and beta are two distinct points. So if this happens, so if b square minus 4ac is strictly greater than 0, then alpha is not equals to beta, and alpha and beta both are real numbers. Right? So that means this parabola will intersect x-axis exactly at 2 points. So that means this parabola can look like either something like this, exactly at 2 points, or something like this. and it depends on the sign of A is if it is an upward parabola or downward parabola, right? Now the second point is, so if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then we know that under the root of b square minus 4ac is not a real number, right? So it simply implies that alpha and beta are not a real number. So in this case, our parabola will look like, it won't intersect x-axis at all. It will either in the first and second coordinate, right? Something like this, or either here. Okay, and again, the upward downward thing depend on the sign of a, whatever the coefficient of x square on that. Okay, so this is the second case, and the third case was obvious. If b square minus 4ac is equals to 0. So if this has happened, then we can easily compute that alpha is equals to beta is equals to, since this is equals to 0, minus b by 2, right? And we know that this is nothing but a coordinate of vertex, the x coordinate of vertex, right? So in this case, our parabola will look like something like this. It will just touches the x-axis at one point, which is alpha comma 0 or beta comma 0, whatever you want to denote it, or something like this. Okay, so these are the three cases which can happen with respect to a parabola, right? So that means if an equation of parabola is given to us, then it's very easy to just the graph of a parabola, just the vertex of a parabola, and compute the axis of symmetry as well as compute the roots, right? You can easily do all those things by just using these formulas. And how we write these formulas, you can go check the previous lecture. I think we already discussed it pretty deeply. Okay, so this is the one thing. Now on parabola, what else I have maximum and minimum value of parabola, right? So, and the slope of parabola. So let's talk about first the slope of parabola. Slope of parabola. So if a parabola is given to you, suppose, or a quadratic function is given to you, ax square plus bx plus c, then the slope is slope at a point x naught comma y naught is actually given by this formula, that 2a x naught plus b, and this is nothing but the first derivative of function. You guys will know about the we will talk about derivative in the 6th week, I guess. So this is the quantity which will give us the slope of a parabola at a point x naught comma y. Okay, now there is a one thing which is known to be the maximum and minimum value, max and minimum value of parabola. So if we have an upward facing parabola or a downward facing parabola, the maximum and minimum value of parabola always lie over its vertex, right? Always at its vertex. And we know the x coordinate of vertex is given by minus b by 2. And y coordinate, you can find out the value of function there. So that means if it's an upward facing parabola, then it will attain a minimum value, and that also on its vertex. Although if it's a downward facing parabola, then also the you can say in this case maximum value occurs at its vertex the same way. Okay, so that's all about parabola I have. Anything else? Yeah, parabolas are pretty simple to judge. Yeah, the sum of the root and product of a root. So suppose you have suppose alpha comma beta are two roots of parabola. Then the sum of a root alpha plus beta is given by minus b by a, and the product of a root is given by cy. These are two formulas which are frequently usable, and also you guys can go and check how this formula actually, how we derive this form. Okay, how alpha plus beta, just alpha is known to us, minus b plus under the root of b square minus 4ac by 2, right? So here if you do alpha plus beta, you will guess first option. If you do alpha multiplied by beta, you will get the second form, under the root of b square minus 4ac by 2. Okay. Let's go toward the doubts then. Yes, Ravi.
sorry, I didn't lower my hand in the previous thing, so I'm sorry.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, Purva?
Yes, ma'am. I had this doubt. In one question of activity, there was a question based on parabolas intersecting. So they told us to find the value where it intersects. How do we find the intersection point?
Intersection point of what? Line and parabola?
No, slope parabola.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, correct.
Line and parabola, right?
Yeah. No, two
So
slopes. One is in second quadrant and one is in first quadrant. They both intersect at one point. So they told us where it intersects. They gave a diagram-based question.
Okay, so they gave you two parabolas and then they ask about point of intersection. Is that the case?
Yes.
Okay, so again, if suppose, any two function is given to you in case of parabolas, it's not restricted to parabolas or line. If any function is given to you, so suppose y is equals to f1x is one function and y is equals to f2x is another function, and they represent any kind of figure. It might be parabola, it might be lines or any polynomials also. So if such kind of situation is there and they ask about point of intersection point, then what you have to do, first assume that x0 comma y0 is a point of intersection. So if this is a point of intersection, it should satisfy both of the equations, right? So that means y0 is equals to f1 of x0 and y0 is equals to f2 of x0. And then again, using these two equations, you just have to eliminate some of the terms and you can get your point of intersection. Either eliminate or you will reach at one situation where you know that what you have to do. In case of parabola, I think you will reach out to the parabola again. So suppose you have one parabola given by y is equals to a1x square plus b1x plus c1 and y is equals to a2x square plus b2x plus c2. Then suppose x0 comma y0 is a point of intersection. Then we know that y0 is same as a1 x0 square plus b1 x0 plus c1 and y0 is equals to a2 x0 square. Since it's point of intersection, it will lies over both of the parabolas, right? So now here y1, y0 is given, so we can equate these two terms and reach out to a quadratic equation only. So it will be something a1 minus a2 of x0 square plus b1 minus b2 of x0 square and then plus c1 minus c2 is equals to 0. Again, this is a quadratic function, right? So here you can find out the root of this this particular quadratic function, and then you can find out two values of x0. So x0 will be something and x0 will be something else, right? So using that, you have to judge which one you have to pick using given expression. Is that fine, Purva?
Yes, ma'am, I understood.
Yeah. Now let's go to the next person. Komodia. Hello.
Ma'am, I have a doubt in this. There is a question where they give a polynomial, and we should find in which interval it first increases and decreases, that type of question.
Okay. So I'll come to that. When we discuss about polynomials. Yeah.
Okay.
Increasing, decrease. Yes. Next one. Okay, you guys haven't lowered your. Now let's go to the week 4. Anything else? Anyone has any other doubts?
I wanted to know about that C upon B and B upon A that which were written earlier up.
Which one?
Up.
This one?
Not that. This C upon A. What is this? A plus B. Yeah, alpha plus beta.
Alpha and beta are two roots of your parabola. So parabola is again this f of x is equals to ax square plus bx plus c. Then if you there is one particular formula for sum of the root and product of root. So if you sum these two roots, you will get minus b by a, And if you product these two roots, I mean, if you multiply alpha and beta, you will get c by d, where c is the whatever constant present over parabola. And ABC you can get from your parabola. This is actually very useful formula. It's better you can remember it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, everything.
Ma'am, I have doubt in. I would like to ask how questions are asked from week 3. Means in important question for qualifier. Maybe
Important questions. I
from
mean,
week 3. Which
it's a
must
parabola. So what we can ask about maximum. Whatever question you see in practice assignment, that type of question only you can assume. In practice or graded assignment. You have done a very variety of questions, right? So some kind of that only. I mean, I can't give you the how the question will. I mean, it will be simple if you have some roots is given to you or some information is given to you, then you can derive other. It's not that tough will be there. Yes, Purva. Okay, so yeah, we will do 1 or 2 questions from week 3. That will give you answer. Minimum maximum value of quadratic function, all those things you already know. If you know this much information about a parabola, then I think you can easily think about how to tackle any question from week 3. Okay. Now let's go to week 4, polynomials. Okay, so polynomials, we start with the degree of polynomial. So in the polynomial, what is the degree of polynomial? Degree of p of x. So before defining the degree of polynomial, we define the degree of each term. Degree of each term. So what is the degree of each term? So degree of any term is nothing but the sum of all power of variables whichever present in that particular term. For example, if I have a polynomial in 2 variables, now we know that polynomial can be in 1 variable, 2 variable, 3 variable. So if I have a polynomial p of x defined like something like this, 2x square y square plus 3x cube y to the power 5 plus 4y to the power 7. Then if I want to compute the degree of polynomial, then I will compute the degree of each term in this polynomial. So the degree of this term, degree of term 2x square y square is nothing but the sum of degree of each variable, sum of power of each variable. So here 2 variables are there, x and y, and both has a quadratic power, that means 2 and 2. So what will be the degree of this term? It is nothing but 2 plus 2, which is equals to 4. So this is the degree of this particular first term. Now I'll calculate the degree of second term. So degree of term 3x cube y to the power 5. So degree of this term, again the sum of power of each variable. So that means 3 plus 5, which is equals to 8. And the third thing is the degree of term, the last one, which is 4y square. But here only one variable is there, 4y to the power 7. So the degree will be 7. Now, what is the degree of polynomial? So the degree of polynomial is nothing but the maximum of the degree of each term. So that means I have to find out the max of all of the terms degree. So first term will have degree 4, second term will have degree 8, and third term is of degree 7. So the maximum of these 3 numbers is nothing but 8. So that's why the degree of polynomial is 8. Overall, if you have only one variable polynomial, so that means if you have a px given by a n x to the power n plus a n minus 1 x to the power n minus 1 plus and so on plus a1 x plus a naught. So now this is a general form where px, and here I am assuming that a n is not equals to 0 and all the a's are real numbers. So here the degree of px will be n. Right, and n is a natural number, n belongs to natural number. So this is a particular standard form for one variable polynomial of degree n, where each of their coefficient are real numbers and the leading coefficient is not equals to 0. So in this case, the degree of polynomial is n. Now, the degree of a polynomial is it plays an important role when we try to draw a polynomial or when we try to figure out the end behavior of polynomial. So end behavior means as x goes to infinity, where does our px goes? Okay. So we'll come to that. So before that, let's talk about the zeros of polynomial. So what are the zeros or roots of polynomial? Zeros or roots of polynomial. So roots or zeros of polynomial are nothing but those values of x for which, so it is nothing but those x for which p of x is equals to 0. Or you can say that those values of x where your polynomial intercept x-axis, right? Both things are same because if polynomial intersect at x-axis, the y value will be 0 and those value we want to find out. So zeros or roots of a polynomial is nothing but those values of x for which p of x is equals to 0. Now if you have n degree polynomial, so if degree of px is n, then we can have at most n zeros. So if you have n degree polynomial, then that polynomial can have at most n zeros. At most means at max. कि ज़्यादा ज़्यादा n zeros are possible. But if a polynomial is of degree n, then we cannot have more than n plus 1 zeros, and more than n zeros, obviously. And you can easily check that if a polynomial have, then that polynomial will intercept, if it's a degree n polynomial, then using the number of turning points and all, we can figure out this result. But this is important result. If you have an n degree polynomial, then that polynomial can have at most, n zeros. Okay, so that's about zeros. Now for every zero, we define a particular number. That number is known to be the multiplicity of a zero. So what is the multiplicity of zero? So multiplicity of zero means, so if you factor out your polynomial means if a polynomial is given to you in this form, a n x to the power n plus n so on plus a naught, then you will just factor this polynomial into the sum factors. That means a n x minus alpha 1, x minus alpha 2, and so on, x minus alpha n. Right, so in this way you can factor your polynomial. And what is the multiplicity of zero? So multiplicity of zero is nothing but when you factor your polynomial and compute the number of factors associated to that particular root. Because here if you observe that if I factor my polynomial, then here alpha 1, alpha 2, and so on alpha n, these are nothing but the zeros of polynomial. Zeros of px, right? So if you factor your polynomial, then whatever will be the power of that particular root is known to be the so the power of that particular factor is known to be the multiplicity of that particular root. So suppose in general, if a factor form of px is given in this way, a n x minus alpha 1 to the power r1, x minus alpha 2 to the power r2, and so on, x minus alpha 3 to the power r3, then here r1 is the multiplicity of alpha 1, r1 is the multiplicity of alpha 1, r2 is the multiplicity of alpha 2. And then this way, we can easily compute what is the multiplicity of each of the zero. Now, for example, let's suppose I have a polynomial. So suppose p of x is given in this form. It is 5x minus 4 to the power 5, x minus 6 to the power 7, x minus 8 to the power 11. Then what are the zeros? What are the zeros of px? You guys answer in the chat box what are the zeros of px and their multiplicities also there. And multiplicities also. Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute, figure out what are the zeros of this particular polynomial and what are the respective multiplicities this polynomial can have. Okay. Yes, everything. You want to ask something?
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask the degree. How found the degree? I didn't understand.
See, degree of polynomial is nothing. So suppose degree of polynomial will get more complicated if you have more than one variable. But in our course, we just talk about one variable polynomial. More than one variable means suppose you have some such kind of polynomial. 5xy square plus 3y cube, right? This polynomial involves two variables, x and y, right? We have two variables. So here the degree of polynomial will be computed term by term. That means first you will compute the degree of this term, then this term. So the term of the degree of term is nothing but the you just have to add all the powers of every variable. So that means here is the one power. So 1 plus 1 will 1 plus 2 will become 3. So degree of this term will be 3. Here only 3 power, so it will become 3. And then you have to compute the maximum value. But in our course, what happened? We just have a polynomial with only one variable. So that means in our core, our polynomial will look like something like this: 5x to the power 99 plus x to the power n plus 6, right? So in this type of polynomial, you just have to find out maximum power of x. What is the possible maximum power of x? So here it is quite obvious that the maximum power of x is nothing but 99. So the degree of polynomial is nothing but 99. Now here in this question also, you guys can answer what is the degree of px. What is the maximum power of x can happen in this polynomial. Is that fine for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you got it?
Yes, ma'am. But last one, 99 plus 9 is there, right? Highest power.
99.
Sorry, 10.
10 is this.
99 plus 10. That is
No. You don't have to add it. Here you don't have to add. Here, here you just have to find out what is the maximum power of x can happen.
Okay, here is 99.
Here it is 99.
Okay.
If you have more than one variable, x and y type of thing, there you have to add and then find out the maximum. Here it's just
More
about
than
maximum.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Now this is the px and the zeros are okay. Deepak, what do you mean by multiplicity 23? No, Apurva, just calculate maximum power of x once again. I mean, overall polynomial, what is the maximum power of x can happen? Here I have given you factor in multiplication. So also observe that. Okay. The zeros are correct. But the degree of px, you have to figure it out. No, it's correct. Okay. The degree of polynomial is the maximum power of x that can happen, that is present in this polynomial. So you have to find out what will be the maximum, or you can simply say that what is the maximum power of x is there. Okay. So here the terms are given in the product. So if you take x from one bracket, then you have to take the power of x from other bracket also and from the last bracket also. The degree is not 11. Whoever is answering 11, just think once again. What is the degree? So degree is the highest power of x that is present over this polynomial. So if this is the px, then an x to the power n plus an minus 1 x to the power n minus 1 plus and so on plus a1 xn. a1 x plus x now. Then this n is the degree of px. Max power of x. You guys can unmute yourself, but don't just say one,
Ma'am,
at a time. Yeah.
can you put P of x, which is 5x minus 4x minus 6, x minus 8 and powers, into your formula with the red color you have written a and to x to the
For
power
that,
1.
you have to multiply all those things. So here you don't have to, simplify this polynomial. For finding the degree of this polynomial, you can just observe that what is the possible max, what is the maximum value of x to the power can have. So this is your formula, right? So we have to figure out what is the maximum power of x can happen. So from this factor, you can take x to the power 5. Right? And then you have to multiply this factor to this factor. So from this factor, you will get x to the power 7. From this factor, you will get x to the power 11. So that means the maximum x to the power 5, the maximum power from this factor will be x to the power 5. From this factor will be x to the power 7. From this factor will be x to the power 11. And since you are multiplying all those factors, you will get multiply all these terms. So multiply this term. So that means x to the power 5 multiplied by x to the power 7 multiplied by x to the power 11. So if you multiply the term, the power will get add, right? So that means x to the power 5 plus 7 plus 11. And this is nothing but 23. So that means x to the power 23 is the maximum power factor that can happen in this polynomial px. So that's why degree of px is nothing but 23. So now you understood how we solve this? What
Yes,
is the meaning of degree? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any comment over this degree thing? Anyone?
The root is 4, 6, and 8. The first part of the question, correct?
The
You also asked
zeros
to
are
find the
4,
root.
6, and 8. Zeros are 4, 6, and 8. Because these are the only number. If you put 4 here, then this bracket will become 0 and it will make all the things to be 0. Similarly, if you put 6 here, this bracket will be 0, all the terms will be 0. Similarly, 8 here. So that's why the roots are 4, 6, 0. And since the px is already given in its factor form, what are the multiplicity of these roots? 4 will have multiplicity 5, 6 will have multiplicity 7, and 8 will have multiplicity 11. So that means multiplicities will be 4 will have 5 multiplicity, 6 will have 7 multiplicity, and 8 will have 11 multiplicity. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
if we have x there, assume that x minus 4, x minus 6, x minus 8, and one more x there, then that we need to take x equal to 0 as the root.
Correct. Then 0 will be the root with multiplicity 1.
Okay.
Yeah, Smith, Ashok.
I had the same doubt. So
okay, fine. And then degree will also become 24. Okay, so this is the degree and the multiplicity of zeros. Now there is one you can say remark or result you can take that no. Or else, yeah, you guys can at least try to understand it. Remark is if you add all the multiplicities, then this number will always be less than or equal to degree of a polynomial, which was quite obvious because if the degree is n, then we can have at most n zeros. So that means we can have at most n factors. So that means if we add all the multiplicities, then it will always be less than or equal to p of x. Okay, so this is one remark you can take. Try to understand this, how this actually become true, but it's not tough. Okay, any doubt so far? We will now go toward turning points and then end behavior of a polynomial. Yes,
and what is distinct roots of polynomials?
Distinct
How
roots
it's
of
written?
polynomials means here 4 and 6 are two distinct roots of polynomial, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean by distinct root?
Means, ma'am, I want to say actually critical points and distinct roots are different things.
Which points?
Critical points and distinct roots.
Critical points are something else. Yeah, both are a different thing. Distinct roots are roots, critical points are something else. So you'll get to learn about critical points when we talk about differentiability and all. Okay. There will give you precise definition of critical point. So now let's go toward the turning point. Turning point of polynomials. So turning point are those points where our polynomial change its nature. Change its nature means, suppose this is the graph of a polynomial. So here over this point, what is happening? Before this point, the polynomial is actually increasing, right? And after this point, polynomial is actually decreasing. So such kind of point are known to be the turning.
Ma'am, your screen is not visible to me.
Yes, my screen is my screen visible to others?
Yes, it is visible,
Yes,
ma'am.
You can just rejoin the meeting. Okay. So turning point are those points where polynomial actually changes its behavior. Behavior means before this point, capital A, the polynomial is actually showing us an increasing behavior, right? It is increasing rapidly. But after this point, the polynomial is actually some sort of decreasing thing is happening. So such kind of points are known to be turning point. Or else, we can compute the turning point of a polynomial for time being only by seeing the graph. If you have the graph, then you can judge the number of turning point from there. But if you want to judge turning point without the graph, then you have to use some other methods. I mean, some differentiability and all those criteria. So if turning points is there for polynomial and you want to guess what are the turning points are there, then you need a graph. Okay. And the another thing is, so if we have an n degree polynomial, so if degree of a polynomial is n, then it can have it can has a at most n minus 1 turning point. Okay, so if a polynomial is given to you and it has and the degree of polynomial is n, then you can surely say that this polynomial will have n at most n minus 1 turning point. At most means it cannot have n turning point and n plus 1, n plus 2 turning point. At most n minus 1 turning points are possible. So this is the possible number.
But isn't it only when n is even?
No. This is for n is even, n is odd, both thing. For both. Okay, because for n is odd. Yeah, it is for both. It's not mentioned. Okay.
For this graph, how many turning points?
Sorry, what? Your voice is little breaking.
Yeah, actually, I'm here. Some network issue.
Okay. Yeah, you can ask in chat also. I'm also there.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm asking about how many roots in this turning points in this graph.
How many roots? So
No.
the roots are
turning points.
So in this graph, if I make this graph like this, I mean over here it's going toward infinity, and over here it's decreasing, right? So here you observe that this is the one turning point, this is the another turning point, this is another one, this is another. So it means 4 turning points. Okay, and these are the x-intercept where the graph cut the x-axis. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Are the roots, right?
X-intercepts are zeros, roots. These three things are same. Zeros, roots, x-intercepts, all those things you can say.
From the root, we cannot find the turning point, right now? Or is it possible?
Sorry?
From the root, we can't find the turning point, right?
We cannot find the turning point. From the roots, we cannot find turning points. Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Multiplicity? Can you find multiplicity?
By multiplicity, we can roughly judge our graph, but we cannot find exact turning points. For exact means exact. If 5 is there, then I want the 5 to be my answer. So for exactness, we need some other concept. Roughly, you can say, okay, there could be 3, there could be 4 type of thing. But if you want exactly, then either you need a particular graph of that particular polynomial. Okay, fine. Okay, so now let's go toward turning point is there. Now P and behavior. Yes. Huh?
Ma'am, how to determine like if the graph is increasing between -2 and infinity, 4 and
Yeah, I'll
2?
go to that now. First, let's so that's the end behavior, na? 2 to infinity or -2 to infinity, right? This is the end behavior of a polynomial. Okay. It's a little bit confusing, but if you remember via the example of x square and x cube, then it's very easy. Okay. So end behavior. So end behavior means as x goes to infinity or x goes to minus infinity, what will be the nature of our polynomial? Where does this px goes? Okay. So the end behavior of polynomial we will classify this over 2 cases. So first case is when our n is the even number. N means degree of polynomial. Okay, so where n is nothing but the degree of px. So if n is an even number, then what you can do, whenever you have an even number and you want to judge the end behavior of graph, just look over this graph. This is y is equals to x square graph, right? Y is equals to x square graph. And using this graph, you can easily remember the end behavior of polynomial for degree being even. Okay, so if n is even, where n is the degree of polynomial, so then if x goes to infinity, then what is happening here? As x goes to infinity, this px is also going toward infinity, correct? So that means if x goes to infinity, this px also goes to infinity. And here, if x is going to minus infinity, this px is also going to infinity, right? This thing you have to observe, that if you go toward the left-hand side, then this graph is actually growing upward. Growing upward means it's going toward infinity. If it grows downward, that means it is going toward minus infinity, because the y values are going infinity. This is your y-axis, right? It will be positive here, it will be negative here. So the y values are growing to infinity. So that's why we say that as x goes to infinity, in the case of even degree polynomial, as x goes to infinity, px also goes to infinity. And if x goes to minus, and sorry, here I have to consider one more thing, which is the leading coefficient of polynomial, right? So leading coefficient means the value of an. So what is an? So an is the x to the power nth coefficient. So here I am assuming that an is also strictly greater than 0. Okay, so this is the graph of y is equals to x square, right? This is y is equals to x square.
And px gives infinity, which is y-axis, is that is for infinity, p of x.
P of x goes to infinity means y is going to infinity. The same thing, no? What you're saying. Now here I am considering two things. I mean, an is strictly greater than 0 and n is even. That's why we have 4 cases here. Okay, so in this case, as x goes to infinity, px also goes to infinity, x goes to minus infinity, px also goes toward infinity only. Okay, so this is the first case. Now case number 2.
Ma'am, what if the graph is not given in the question?
No, this is for your what you can say, you can remember this condition over this graph, using this graph.
So
Because obviously they will give you some other px. Y is equals to x square won't be there.
px is like x to the power of 6 minus 5x square. So we have to take since 6 is the highest degree and it's even, so we have to do it like this.
Right. So that's why I'm saying n is the degree and your coefficient is greater than 0. So that means your polynomial falls under this condition. Now it's very hard to remember x goes to infinity, px goes to infinity, x goes to minus infinity, right? I mean, here this infinity will make us problem. So that's why I'm saying whenever such kind of, whenever you have an even degree polynomial whose leading coefficient is positive, right? So just remember this graph. This is for your understanding. You can remember this whole thing via y is equals to x square graph, right? Now in case 2, if your leading coefficient is negative and you have an even degree polynomial, so if n is even, then you can remember the y is equals to minus x square graph. And you guys already know what is the graph of y is equals to minus x. This, right? So in this graph, what is happening? So in this graph, as you're going toward infinity, your p of x or your y is equals to x square going toward minus infinity. So same thing happen here also. So as x goes to infinity, in this case, px goes to minus infinity. And similarly, x goes to minus infinity, px also goes to minus infinity. X goes to minus infinity, px still goes to minus infinity. Is there any doubt in these two cases? These two graphs is just for remembering that what will happen. Okay, because in exam we always get confused, right? So this is just for your understanding that you can remember these two graphs and picture what can happen.
Can you please explain again for if x goes to minus infinity in term of a positive case?
See, if x going to minus infinity, and since it's an even degree polynomial, right? So even degree polynomial with negative coefficient. So your largest term will be always negative. So that's why it's going toward minus infinity. For example, if you suppose this polynomial, so example. So end behavior also give you the knowledge of from which coordinate you have to start your polynomial and you have to end your where you have to end your polynomial. Okay, so suppose I'll give you px to be minus of x to the power 6 plus 9x square plus x plus 10. Okay, suppose this is your polynomial. Then answer these two questions. So if this is your polynomial, then as x goes to infinity, where does this px goes?
Minus infinity.
Minus infinity because it's in negative term.
Correct. Even negative combination is there, so it will go to minus infinity. Now, x goes to minus infinity, then where does your px goes?
Positive.
Positive infinity.
Again, remember it's a
Infinity.
even with a negative coefficient, minus infinity. Correct. So that's why we always get confused. So what you can do whenever you have end what do you say, end behavior type of question, just make a quick you can say a chart to don't get confused over this stuff. So here what is happening, as x going to infinity, the px is going toward minus infinity, and x goes to minus infinity, the px is also going toward minus infinity. So your polynomial will start from the third quadrant and end up in the fourth quadrant. And this way you can judge where you have to start your polynomial.
And this is for even. What about odd?
This is for even and negative. This is even degree and negative coefficient.
And what about odd and negative?
Yeah, I'll come to that. First, try to understand these two. Is that fine? Any doubt in?
Yeah, ma'am. In this above
Just wait, one by one. Yeah, Ravi.
Ma'am, in this above equation, if they are asking something like, can you check whether this function is strictly increasing in 4, infinity? So if they say that, as you mentioned there, I have to substitute x equal to plus infinity. So in this case, it will be minus. So depending on that, I need to choose the answer, right, ma'am?
No,
Am I clear in the
increasing
question?
behavior depend on the thing. I mean, if see, increasing decreasing behavior actually, I mean, you want to say that does this polynomial is increasing after 4 comma infinity or not? Right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So what happen if 4 is the 0 of this polynomial? So it will touch here, and it depend on the multiplicity also, right? It will go here or there. I mean, first if you want to answer the increasing decreasing, first you have to draw the polynomial precisely, right? So it depends on the multiplicity of 4 also, that either it will go up and then decrease or just decrease. You're getting my point what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you so if
Madam,
you
one
get
question.
increase and then decrease, then yeah.
Madam, one question I have. As regards the first intercept, you should come on the left hand side. So that is the one I'll have to start with that, right? So I'll have to
This is
start
your
to see.
starting.
No, I mean to say the x-intercept which is on the leftmost, that means which is the most negative one on the x-axis. I'll start with that, right?
You'll start with that, but at this point you can reach from two directions. Now you can reach from above direction also, you can reach from below also.
That
So
direction I'll come
that
to know with
thing,
endpoint. That is right. I was not
correct.
knowing like which one to start with, like which intercept to
the
start.
most, the most negative one.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's, I'll come to,
Sorry to disturb you, but actually, if you could please repeat that again, that how can we conclude that for this case, Px, we will start from the third quadrant?
Okay.
Like how we
So-
reach to that conclusion?
Yeah. So what is happening here? Px is going toward minus infinity from both of the things, right? As x goes to infinity and x goes to minus infinity. So if you won't start from third coordinate, you will start from second. But if you start anything which is coming from second coordinate, then it will always grow
Positive.
up, right?
It is positive.
So that's why it goes to plus infinity. So that's the thing, you have to start with the third coordinate. Because if you won't start with third coordinate, means you are decreasing, you are going toward minus infinity, right? But you start with the first, if you start with the second coordinate, it means you are growing, you are increasing your y value. That means you are going toward plus infinity. Is that helpful for you, Arvi? I mean,
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I'm just trying to understand. Like here, when we took the value of x to be minus infinity, then y will also be minus infinity.
Yeah. So you can think like that. Okay, y will be minus infinity. So both are minus minus. So we are in third coordinate. That's also you can think.
Okay, so we'll start, but ma'am, like minus y-axis is like below origin. So why are we going up then? Like
But
we
it's a
should.
polynomial, na? It will cut the x-axis somewhere and then go up and then have such kind of behavior, right? So
Okay,
this
all right.
behavior this behavior will judge by multiplicity, but this is the end behavior. That means we cannot draw the whole polynomial, right? There will be always finitely many intersection points. So after all the intersection point, how does polynomial look? That's the meaning of end behavior, right?
Got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. But someone was saying this. Okay, so I think we can go toward the second case. So this is the case when we have even and positive and negative coefficient. Now go to odd. So suppose that degree of px is n, which is odd, right? Now here we have two cases, when our coefficient is greater than 0 and when our leading coefficient is less than 0. Okay, so this also you can remember via the graph y is equals to x cube, right? So y is equals to x cube graph look like this. This is the graph of y is equals to x cube, and this is the graph of y is equals to minus x cube. Okay. So these two graphs will help you to judge, I mean, if you ever get any confusion, then you can remember these two graphs and judge the end behavior of polynomial. Okay. So in this case, as x going to infinity, what is happening here? The px is also going toward plus infinity, right? So as x goes to infinity, px goes to infinity. And here, if x goes to minus infinity, then px is actually growing to minus infinity. Px is also minus infinity. Now, when we have a negative leading coefficient, then the opposite of this will happen. That means, as x goes to infinity, here x going to infinity, px is actually going toward minus infinity, right? Px is going toward minus infinity. And as x goes toward minus infinity, so here minus infinity, then px is going toward plus infinity, right? So then px is going toward plus infinity. Okay. Is that fine? Any doubt in these two cases?
No, no.
No, right? Now we go to multiplicity. I mean, how the graph will behave at multiplicities of 0, right? So now suppose I have a polynomial. Suppose px is a polynomial, and x naught is one of the 0. X naught is the 0 of px with even multiplicity. So whenever we have a root with even multiplicity, then what happens? The graph will actually, suppose my graph is starting from here, then it will go to this particular x0 and it won't cut the x-axis. It actually touches that x0 and jump back over the same quadrant where it come from. Right? So this type of scenario happen when we have a root with even multiplicity. But if we have with odd multiplicity, so with odd multiplicity, it will actually, the graph of polynomial actually cut the x-axis and go into another direction. So that means it will cut the x-axis and go into the other direction. So these are the two scenarios happens when we have even multiplicity or odd multiplicity. Is that fine?
Yeah, fine, ma'am. Same applies for the degree also, no? Where the entire graph endpoint moves from one side to another. If it is odd.
Correct. Degree and but the sign also matter.
Sign matters.
Ma'am.
Yes, Smith.
Ma'am, can you take an example and illustrate it?
So I'll take one example and I'll try to draw the polynomial and then I'll answer your question, that increasing and decreasing, how you figure it out. Okay.
Sign matters where you start with, no, ma'am? Where you start.
Where you start, their sign matters. So let's try to take very particular examples. So suppose px is equals to 8, x minus 4 to the power 11, minus 8, let's take minus 8, and x minus 3, x minus 1 the whole square, and let's take one more point, x plus 5 to the power 6. Okay, suppose this is a random polynomial. Okay, so now I have to draw the graph of this polynomial. Okay, so how I'll start? So first thing, that zeros, right? Now this polynomial is given in such a way that every root of this polynomial is a real number. Real number means I don't have any factor which has a complex root. Complex root means suppose I have x square minus 1 factor here. If I multiply by this factor, then this factor will have it won't have any real roots, x square plus 1, right? Because x square is equals to minus 1, that means x is equals to plus minus under the root of minus 1, not a real number, correct? So, but here, whatever example I have taken, this is a polynomial with all real roots, right? So, you guys will quickly answer the questions. So, first thing is, what are the zeros of this polynomial?
4.
Zeros of this polynomial, 4, correct?
3,
3, 1 and minus 5.
1, minus 5.
And minus 5, correct? Because these are the only number which can make this polynomial 0, correct? Any confusion over here? No, right? Now, what are the respective multiplicities?
11, 1, 2, 6.
11, 1, 2, 6.
1, 2, 6. Correct. So these are the respective multiplicity. Now, what is the degree of px?
11.
20, correct? Because 11, this is 11 plus 1 plus 2 plus 6. So 9 and 11 is 20. So the degree is still 20. So that means here we have
number of turning
even
point.
Degree. Number of turning point we don't need. We can calculate via the graph.
20 minus 1 minus 20.
At
No?
most.
20 minus 1.
No. At most, not exact.
Most 20 minus 1, right?
At most 20 minus 1. But I think in this case it will be, no, at most 20, sorry. So here we have a even degree polynomial. Turning point we don't need if you want to graph a polynomial. Okay, so it is an even degree polynomial, right? And what is the leading coefficient? An? Here E20. Minus 8, correct? So here remember, here I am giving you x minus 4, x minus 3, x minus 1. If someone gives you 1 minus x, then you have to be caution about the sign of your
we can take the negative sign
An, right? Negative, take a negative sign off and then judge what is An is greater than 0 or less than 0.
If 1 minus x is given, so we have to multiply with 8
you
with
can
1.
take minus common, right?
Then it will become plus 8.
Sorry, what, Apura?
I couldn't understand why you have given me.
So see, what I mean that suppose Here in place of here I have given you all the standard form, that means x minus 3 x minus 1. In place of this, suppose I have given you x minus 4 minus 8 x minus 4 to the power 11 x minus in place of x minus 3, suppose I have given you 3 minus x, and then x minus 1 the whole square, and then x plus 5 to the power 6. As you guys told, the degree of polynomial, degree of px is 20, right? So what is our A20? That is, we have to judge. What is A20? A20 is the coefficient of x to the power 20. So if you construct x to the power 20 from this polynomial, from here you will get x to the power 11, but from here you will get minus of x, right? You won't get x, you will get minus of x, right? From here you will get x square, and here you will get x to the power 6. Now if you multiply all of the things, it will become minus of x to the power 20, and minus 8 is there. So minus of x to the power 20, sorry, minus 8 multiplied by minus of x to the power 20, it will become plus 8x to the power 20. So here in this case, your A20 will become plus 8, not minus 8. That's the thing you have to be cautioned about. Okay.
Okay.
And ma'am, you are saying that if you give the factor of x square plus 1, then we can't rewrite it as a square plus b square formula, like a plus b, a minus b.
No, because I have give you x square plus 1, not minus 1. Yeah, initially I written minus 1, but no. If you have x square plus 1, now you cannot rewrite it, right? It will become iota, right?
Ma'am, what if there is 3 minus x and 1 minus x also?
Then this won't harm us, because here you will get minus of x square. So minus of x square will become x square only, right? Here if it is 1 minus x square, this is same as x minus 1 square.
Ma'am, if x square plus 1 is there, then
x square plus 1 is there, then x square plus 1.
Then how it will matter to the degree?
Then degree will jump from 20 to 22, right? Because from here I have x square term also. Then this x square will get multiplied over all the things.
But that x square doesn't have any roots, huh?
It does not have any root, but it contributes to degree.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Any doubt? Your voice is not clear.
In such a way, graph can be changed.
Lokesh, your voice is not clear. Can you repeat?
Hello, ma'am.
So, one by one. Yes, Lokesh.
In such a way, graph can be changed. We include x square plus 1.
The graph will be little bit changed.
Not exactly.
Exactly. Actually,
Not
they
exactly
show
able to
some curve type of behavior. Other than not over. I mean, here we don't have such curve type of behavior. Curve means this type of behavior. This.
Yeah.
Or something this type. Right? It will be weird, little bit weird.
But if it is x 100 plus 1, then it will be very much different.
Correct. Actually, as you increase the power, then it depends on it changes the curve. Okay. Yeah, Shweta.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, as you explained that if the root 1 minus x has a even power, right? At that time, it won't matter. It is 1 minus x or x minus 1. But in case it has odd power,
then it will matter.
It matters. Okay? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so let's back to here. So we have a 20-degree polynomial with the leading coefficient to be minus 8. Okay, so then first what you will do, first draw your all the zeros, right? So here zeros are minus 5. This is your x-axis. Zeros are 1, 1, 3, and 4. Okay. Now we have to start with we have to start. I mean, first we have to judge that as x goes to minus infinity, where does our px's go? So what is the answer? As x goes to minus infinity, where does px goes? So I mean, we have to start with the second coordinate or the third coordinate?
Second. It's even. Achha,
Even but negative coefficient.
If it is negative, then third.
Third now. So we'll start from here. We go up to minus 5. Then we ask here that what is the multiplicity of minus 5. So what is the multiplicity of minus 5? 6, right? So that means 5 have even multiplicity. So the graph of polynomial will reach here, touch minus 5 and return back over the same quadrant. Okay. Now here, now if I want to reach this 1, then I have to turn my graph once, right? At least once I have to turn. So once I'll turn, again I'll reach 1. And at 1, what is the multiplicity? The multiplicity is again even. So from 1, I'll again move over the same quadrant. Then again I'll have to reach 3. So I'll turn my graph and reach toward 3. And at 3, I have odd multiplicity, right? The multiplicity is 1. So I'll cut the x-axis here, go toward the next quadrant. But again, at 4, I have to, right? 4 is the 0, so I have to either touch or cross this 4. So I'll go 4, I'll look for multiplicity. Multiplicity is 11, so that means odd. So I'll go toward the negative x-axis, right? So minus. And this is obvious because px is even with negative leading coefficient. So this is the rough graph of px.
मैम ये 4 से क्रॉस क्यों करा, एक बार ये क्लियर करिए.
हाँ, so at 4 we have odd multiplicity, na? 11 multiplicity. So whenever we have odd multiplicity, it will cross x-axis. Similarly, at 3 we have odd multiplicity 1. So whenever we have odd multiplicity, it will cross the 0 and go toward the next section. Fine?
तो 11 multi.
Okay. Cool.
ओड है तो इसलिए क्रॉस किया.
हाँ, ऑड है इसलिए क्रॉस किया. इवन रहता तो वापस से जंप बैक हो जाता उसी डायरेक्शन.
ओके ओके.
मैडम दैट कोएफिशिएंट विल नॉट.
मैम मेरा एक ये था कि आपने ये कॉन्सेप्ट थोड़ा एक बार और किसी और एग्जांपल के थ्रू भी एक बार क्लियर कर दो, मतलब जिससे थोड़ा एक अंडरस्टैंड हो जाए कि ये ग्राफ कैसे वो होता है.
Okay, so yeah, I'll do one more example.
Ma'am,
so,
one small question. It's a repeat again. That coefficient will not change if there is 1 minus x raised to 2. 1 minus x, the whole thing. 1 minus x raised to 2, it will not change any sign of the coefficient.
No, it won't change.
But if it is cube, then it will change.
Cube, it will change because then x cube, minus of x cube there, right? Here, what happened? Minus of x square there. So obviously it is equal to x square. But if minus of x cube is there, then minus of x cube, minus will do, right?
Okay. So you don't have to multiply by minus 1 necessarily if it is a square. But if it is a cube, then you multiply.
You have to. Correct.
Okay.
Taking another example, let's take a proper polynomial like x cube minus 6x square, like that, ma'am. Because
but then we have to factor it out, right? If the polynomial expression is given to you, then it is very tough to draw a polynomial. We need a factor form. I mean, you are asking for an example where it is not in factor form, correct?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But that's a very tough question because see, factoring a polynomial is a very hard problem. If you search over internet, you will find out that there is no method which can factor out a 5th degree polynomial. We have a method which can factor out 4th degree polynomial, but we cannot have any method which can factor out 5th degree polynomial. So if someone gives you a polynomial to draw its graph manually, then it will always be in factor form. You don't have to do that much work to factor it out and then draw a graph. Is that fine?
Okay.
Because it is very hard. Very hard means if you sit for 10 to 12 hours, still it is tough to judge the factor of polynomial.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you once show the graph of even multiplicity and odd multiplicity?
मैम आप ये फैक्टर के थ्रू ही एक बार क्लियर कर दीजिए.
Okay, yeah. So let's take another.
Madam, we'll get a recording or something anyway.
You will find it on YouTube also, I think.
Today's one, you will get this.
Yeah.
Acha, okay.
It's being live streamed.
How will we get the link?
That I don't know. How you guys usually get the link?
Link you will get from Google Calendar.
Google Calendar.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Now I will. Okay, so what I can do? I'll give you one polynomial and give you 5 minutes. Just try to draw a graph by yourself. Okay, and then we will discuss it. That will be much. Yeah, Anu. What's your doubt?
Here we can say that function is strictly increasing from 4 to minus infinity.
Correct. So here from decreasing. So if someone asks you about the decreasing nature, they always take a 0 and then they ask. They won't ask you in between. That means tell the behavior at x is equals to 2, after 2 or something. No, they will always ask about after a 0 or something else. So here if someone asks you, find out the if the polynomial is increasing or decreasing in 4 comma minus infinity. So what will be your answer? Here it is decreasing, right? It's going downward. So that's why it is a decreasing thing. Is that fine?
Actually, I have confusion, ma'am. In fourth quadrant, y is positive na, and y is equal to fx. So function may be increasing, no, ma'am?
No. Here what is happening? We are increasing the value of x. X value will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and so on. But the y value is decreasing. Minus 10, minus 11, minus 12, minus and all those things. Na? So that's why it's a decreasing function. The value of x is increases, but the value of y is decreases, right? So it's a decreasing function. Via the graph, you can easily judge where the function is increasing or decreasing, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so now I'll give you one polynomial. Just
Ma'am,
sit
can
and try
you
to draw it. Yeah.
just once can you show the even multiplicity and odd multiplicity graph above
Even
you drawn?
multiplicity.
You have drawn above.
See. Okay. So suppose
You have drawn
a
already. Above this I want to see.
Okay, so here you can see. So here at 5, what is the multiplicity of minus 5? So minus 5 multiplicity is 6, right? So since it's an even multiplicity, where I started, I'll end up in the same quadrant or in the same side of y-axis. Negative side, I have started from the negative y-axis. I'm not crossing the x-axis. That's the major thing. Okay, I'm just jumping backward, right? We are just starting from here. I'll touch my x is equals to minus
Because
5
of
and then
even multiplicity.
because of
right?
this 6, it's even, correct? At 1 also, it is an did I make a mistake here? Sorry. This is 0 and this is multiplicity. So at 1, we have 2 multiplicity, right? Multiplicity of 1 is 2. So again, it will go backward.
Bounce back.
Now
yes.
at 3, we have 1 multiplicity, right? So it's an odd, so it will cut x-axis and go in another. And at 4, we have 11 multiplicity, so odd and cut x's and go in other.
मैम ये एक वो था कि ये हमने नीचे से ही क्यों शुरू किया -5 पे?
This is because of end behavior, right? Here, what is happening? This is an even degree polynomial with negative leading coefficient, right? So ये वो first case में चल जाएगा when we have even degree and negative coefficient. So in this case, as x goes to minus infinity, your p of x also goes to minus infinity. So that's why we started from third coordinate.
मैम इसका वो ये इस तरह का कोऑर्डिनेट वाला जिसमें हमें ये पता लग सकता है कि ये सारी कंडीशन वो कुछ होगा जहाँ से
हाँ तो ये है ना ये this x square x cube this is your hint. See, for every case, if a is greater than 0, n is even, you have to remember y is equals to x square graph. As this graph behaves, the same type px will behave. So this is the thing. I just repeated. You can just go and check. ये 3 ग्राफ 4 ग्राफ है, आपको रिमेंबर रखना है. Y is equals to x square minus x square, x cube minus x cube. So according to this, you have to put your polynomial where it started and where it will end. Okay. Just go and check.
तो ये पॉलिनोमियल डिग्री का जो हाईएस्ट डिग्री होगी उसका जो कोफिशिएंट होगा उसके बेस पे हमें डिफाइन चीज को ये कंसीडर करना है.
करेक्ट उसके कोफिशिएंट पे और उसकी डिग्री पे. डिग्री इवन है तो उसके इसमें जाओ, कोफिशिएंट नेगेटिव है पॉजिटिव है वो देखो.
अगर कोफिशिएंट पॉजिटिव हुआ तो हम ऊपर से शुरू करते हैं इसको.
करेक्ट. और ऊपर से शुरू होता ऊपर से ही खत्म हो जाता फिर.
ऊपर से वो तो फिर वो टर्निंग पॉइंट के लिए हम कंसीडर करेंगे कि वो अपने को हमें क्रॉस करना है या उधर से टर्निंग पॉइंट लेना है. अगर वो इवन ओड के केस में तो ठीक है. बेसिकली कोफिशिएंट के बिहाफ पे हम ये चीज ले रहे हैं कि वो ऊपर से शुरू करना है हमें या ये नीचे से.
कोफिशिएंट एंड डिग्री भी जरूरी है. ओके, नाउ आई विल गिव यू वन एग्जांपल. यू गाइस विल ड्रॉ इट. थोड़ा सोचो आराम से, इजीली ट्राई टू ड्रॉ इट एंड देन वी विल डिस्कस. So suppose p of x is equals to let's take it to be 1 by 16th of x minus 1 to the power 9, x plus 2 to the power 100, and 3 minus x to the power 99, and 4x minus 4x plus 1 to the power 4. Okay. Now I'll give you 5 minutes. आराम से ड्रॉ करो अच्छे से. So we'll meet at 9:50. Till then I'll meet all. Yeah. Yeah, you guys can ask. I haven't muted up.
मैम एक बार आप ऊपर कर दो ये PDF. मतलब ये थोड़ा सा
If you guys got your plot, just either thumbs up or just message done in the chat box so that I can get an idea how many people are done. Or else I will give you some more time. Okay, 2, 3.
Ma'am, here 1/16 is in fraction, right?
1/16 is?
In fraction.
So?
So,
It actually won't affect what I write here. The sign of this term only affects. Instead of 1/16, I can write 1/16 key. Still, the graph will scale a little bit, but since we are drawing this rough estimate, that it doesn't matter to us, right?
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you see the chat? I've sent you one question.
Yeah, there is one question. So here f and g functions defined as f is this, g of this, correct answers. Okay, so here I think 4 is one of the root of this f of x. So you can answer this one. Turning point. Okay, so I'll take this question after this graph. Okay, it's a good one, so we can talk about it. So shall we discuss or you guys want a little more time?
Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll discuss.
no, ma'am, we can discuss.
Okay, so again, first thing zeros. So what are the zeros here? So zeros are 1 minus 2. This will be 3 and this will be 1/4. Correct. So these are the roots. Now what are the multiplicities of these roots? So multiplicity. So 1 has multiplicity 9. Minus 2 has multiplicity 100. 3 has multiplicity 99 and 4 has multiplicity 4. 1/4 has 4 multiplicity. Correct. Now, what will be the degree of this p of x? So, but here, since this is 3 minus, yeah, this will come into the leading term picture, right? So, the degree of this is nothing but 9 plus 1, 0 plus 99 plus 4. So, what is the degree?
Zeros. How
9
1/4?
plus 0, 0 plus 99 plus 4. So, I think it will be even number.
Yeah, 212.
Right. 212. Okay. So it's an even degree polynomial. Now we have to find out what is the leading coefficient. What is the leading coefficient? So the leading coefficient will be, this is 1/16. Okay. This is positive, so it won't give us a negative sign. This is also x is the, I mean, from here I'll get x to the power 9. Here I'll get x to the power 100. From here I'll get x to the minus x to the power 99, which is minus of x to the power 99. So this minus is here. And from here, again, it's a 4 degree. So again, I'll get x to the power 4. Okay, so that means the leading coefficient is minus 1/16. That means negative. So we again end up in a case where we actually accidentally write even degree polynomial with negative coefficient. So let's make it to be odd so that we can discuss some other case. So let's take it this to be 10. Or else, what do you guys want? You want this one or the 10?
Ma'am, change the leading coefficient by 9 or 12, 9 or 13.
Leading coefficient change? I mean?
Change the leading coefficient by odd, right? So we can start with odd.
But leading coefficient odd doesn't matter to us. I mean, here in place of 9, I can do 10 so that it will become an odd degree polynomial.
Leading coefficients, sign matters.
Sign only matters, correct. So this odd and even does not matter. So here I am asking you that, okay, so let's take 9 only, then we'll discuss something like this. So now we have all the information. So let's try to draw it. So the roots are -2, 1, 3 and 1/4. So this is -2, this is 1/4, this is 1 and this is 3. Okay. Again we are in even degree plus negative leading coefficient. So that means in this case, which graph I have to remember? I have to remember the y is equals to -x² graph. And the -x² graph look like this. Correct? And it goes to -infinity from both of the sides. So that's why I'll start from the third quadrant. So I'll go up to -2. So at -2, what is the multiplicity? So the multiplicities are, so -2 has multiplicity 100. Right? 1/4 has 4, 1 has 9 and 3 has 99. Okay. So here -2 has even multiplicity. So I'll return into the same quadrant. Again, I'll go to 1/4. 1/4 even multiplicity. Again, return to same quadrant. Go to 1 odd multiplicity. Go in the other direction. 3 odd multiplicity. Go in this direction. So this will be a rough sketch of one.
In the behavior also, ma'am, if infinity x is infinity, p of x is in minus infinity here, and if x is minus infinity, p of x becomes
minus infinity. Because even we have, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Correct? Yeah.
Ma'am, in some questions, here's like fx is equal to gx minus fx. In this case, what will happens in graph?
Okay, so I'll tell you that thing. So what happened if f of x's graph is given to you, if fx is equals to fx graph is given to you, suppose this is the graph of fx, then if you want to find out the graph of minus of fx, then what you will do, just take the mirror image of this graph around y-axis. That means, no, sorry, around x-axis. That means suppose this, here is the mirror image, and just take image of this particular graph over here. So let's try to understand this by Desmos. Okay, there you guys can easily understand.
And then one thing more.
Yeah.
मैम एक बार शेयर करना, वो देखना था जो अभी आपने करा है.
अच्छा हाँ.
And if the term with 3 minus x, if there would have been even power, would it cause any change in the graph?
बस मैम यहीं पे pause कर दो.
Then it will be just a replica of this particular graph over x-axis.
So
this one?
नहीं मैम, ऊपर
ये
ऊपर नहीं I mean हाँ बस यहीं पे ये जो लिखा
मैम. If like 3 minus x, if there is a term like this with an even power, then we can interchange it without any taking common negative outside.
Correct. Because then we don't need, right?
This even power will cut out the negative part.
Cut out the negative part.
Okay.
So I'll just show you just by 1 x minus 3. So what is your polynomial? Someone mention one question. Can someone state that particular polynomial? X cube? X cube minus 6x square plus 9x minus 4.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Is there any difference between strictly increasing or increasing? I mean, like if
difference between
strictly increasing and increasing, simple increasing.
Increasing and total increasing. No, there is no difference.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, like when we know the zero of a polynomial and we are saying that the graph is strictly increasing at this point, that means so that means
strictly increasing. Actually, what happened? This increasing behavior. So increasing behavior include constant behavior also. Constant behavior, it is not changing, neither decreasing nor increasing. But if they say strictly increasing, So strictly increasing means they are just excluding this constant behavior. That means the value should be increases only. It should not stay constant. For example, if I give you this graph, and this graph is actually staying constant after this point, correct? So this type of behavior, they can say it is an increasing type of behavior. But in strictly increasing, such thing should happen. That rapidly increase should happen. That's the little difference.
Okay, so
Is
that
that
means,
fine?
ma'am,
Huh.
suppose we are given an equation, we are given a function with any odd degree, maybe 5, 7, or maybe even 4, 6, and basically they're giving us a coordinate, maybe 6 comma infinity, and they're telling us that is the graph strictly increasing at this point. Now, since we are given only the function and like we don't know the factors of it, and degree is also such that we cannot find out the factors. So how can we conclude that?
Okay, so in that case, they are actually indirectly asking you the end behavior. Because suppose a function is a polynomial is given to you and it is not in a factor form. Okay, not in a factor form. And they ask you what is the behavior of px over suppose suppose 6 to infinity, correct? So ultimately they are asking you the end behavior.
Okay, so
So
here
what you can do,
yes.
Ultimately you just have to judge if x goes to infinity, where does your px goes. This is the one indirect way of asking end behavior.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. So yeah, this thing you can remember, that if the expression is not given to you and if someone asks you about the increasing decreasing behavior over such interval where infinity is present. So if infinity is present, they are indirectly asking you the end behavior of your polynomial. Okay, is that fine?
From only infinity, how we judge the end behavior?
मैम ये कंडीशन एक बार और समझाना, जो भी समझेगा आपने.
See, so if a polynomial is given which is not in a factor form, so if it is not in a factor form, still we can judge the degree. Na? Degree is just the highest power, so we can judge the degree. So degree we can judge, and the leading coefficient also we can judge, because it is not in a factor form, but still an is there. So degree and air you can judge, so you can easily tell what is the end behavior of this polynomial, correct?
Exactly,
And
yes.
that is the exactly your answer. Because if they are asking what is the if the polynomial is increasing or decreasing over such an interval which involve infinity, ultimately they want to judge you what is the end behavior of polynomial. Because this can happen. Suppose this is 6, so either your polynomial can go to infinity or your polynomial can go toward minus infinity. So if it is going toward minus infinity, then it will be decreasing, correct? And if it is going to plus infinity, it is increasing.
मैम एक एग्जांपल देके समझा देते ये वाला.
Okay, so strictly increasing, you can say strictly increasing, strictly decreasing.
Ma'am, can we try for
लाइक
one
कोई
example?
फंक्शन ले लो मैम, एक एग्जांपल के तौर पे, और
X
उसके
cube
बेस पे.
minus 6x square.
Yeah. I'll take one example. So suppose this is your px. So px is equals to suppose 100x square, not x square. Let's take to be x to the power 24, 25 plus x to the power 9 plus x square plus x. Okay, so this is your polynomial, and then I'll say that
Ma'am, please add constant also, ma'am. Sorry, plus 4 or something.
okay.
Constant.
Yeah, actually I'm not adding constant because then I don't know the root, right? But fine. Okay, let's add constant, and I'll try to make this a little in this way, in such a way that it will become 0 at knowable point. So suppose this is now only 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 minus 4. Okay, now x is equals to 1 is the root, correct? Of this particular polynomial. Okay, so answer this question that px is increasing on close interval 1 to infinity. Is this statement is true or false? What you guys can say? This is 25, right?
It is true.
So, ma'am, it is increasing because if you sum the degree, it is coming to 38. So infinity.
No, wait. Here you don't need to sum the degree, correct? Because it is given already in the general form. It is plus, right?
Yeah.
An x to the
Yes,
power
ma'am,
n
it will be increasing.
plus an minus. So that means the degree is
It's
25.
Highest
So the
degree.
degree of px is
I would take the
25.
maximum degree. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
25
Correct. That's the difference you have to consider, right? It is not in factor form, so degree will be the maximum power. So here the degree is 25, and if you put x is equals to 1, it's this px is simply becoming 0. Correct? P of 1 is equals to 0 because it is 1 plus 1 plus 1 minus 4, so 0. And so since it's a odd degree polynomial with the leading coefficient is 1, that is strictly greater than 0. So what will be the end behavior as x goes to infinity? In this case, which graph we have to remember? We have to remember x cube graph, right? So this is the x cube graph. So x cube graph goes to upward as x goes to infinity. So that means px also goes to infinity. So that means after this one, this px behaving like something like this, in which is increasing behavior. So that means statement is true.
Ma'am,
Is that fine?
If the same question is asked minus infinity, comma, minus 4.
Minus 4 is the root?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, correct.
Okay, so there also you just have to just the end behavior. That's it. They will ask, if they ask you such type of question, increasing, decreasing, ultimately you just have to judge the end behavior. Because suppose this is minus 4, right? So after minus 4, so as x goes to minus infinity, px also goes to minus infinity, right? Because of the x cube graph or the odd degree positive coefficient thing, right? So here it will goes to decreasing thing, decreases.
Okay.
Correct? Fine?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Okay.
Fine to everyone? Is there any doubt?
Yes, it is fine.
Okay, so now just try to study a little bit. मतलब थोड़ा बैठो थोड़ा सोचो क्यों हो रहा है, then it will be much easier thing. If you just go and mug up, okay ये होगा तो ये होगा, ये होगा तो ये होगा, तो नहीं जमेगा. थोड़ा सोचो क्यों हो रहा है. Okay, now I can't spend much more time on this why question, why this is happening. Correct? Because we don't have that question. But you guys can figure it out why this is happening.
Can I say something about
Yeah.
this? Ma'am, if we have coefficient is greater than 0, then if we can divide the graph into two parts, that is at 0, like positive side is the right hand side and like negative side is the left hand side. So if leading coefficient is greater than 0, then it will go to right towards right side, it will go to infinity. Or if it is negative, then it is going to minus infinity.
Yeah, I think you can do this way also. I mean, it's up to you. If it is easy to remember for you yourself, you can remember in this way.
Okay.
That's also no harm.
Okay.
I thought it is easy. I mean, for me, it's always been the case of this 4 graph, x square minus x square, x cube minus x cube. So
Me too.
it's up to you.
Okay.
Now let's one thing that minus change, no?
Ma'am, one general query.
Yeah.
Ma'am, week 5 graded assignment is required or necessary?
I think from all of your graded assignment, they counted best 10 or best 11. So you can take a call on that. I mean, it's week 5 is easy. It's not that tough. You just have
And the
one or two
deadline
No,
is
ma'am. The
deadline is we
qualifier
have a
is
lot of
ahead,
time.
right? Qualifier is
Okay.
ahead. So week 4, first week 4 we have to study.
So there is one condition, na? You need best 4 or best 3, something like that, right? So just
So, but
go
in
there and
qualifier,
find.
all the week 4 are coming, right?
For qualifier, all the week 4 are necessary.
Okay.
Okay, is my screen visible now?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
visible.
So here observe that this is the graph of f of x, and if I just multiply by minus sign, this blue one is the graph of minus of f of x. So if you multiply by minus sign, what is happening? You are just taking the mirror image over y is equals to 0 line, that means x-axis. If you assume that this is here, it's some, if you place a mirror here over the green line, these two graphs are nothing but the mirror image of each other. So that's happen if you just multiply minus by any function. This is not for polynomial or something else. Any function if you take, multiply by minus, that graph will be get reflected over the y-axis. Okay, fine.
Means when we can say now everything is just opposite to that graph.
You can say just opposite also.
And sometimes it's also mentioned as fx is equal to minus g of fx, and sometimes it's like fx is equal to g minus fx. Both are different or same?
I think both are different.
Means
both are different,
fx
right?
is equal
F
both
of
are
x is
different.
equals to
Minus g of fx.
minus g of fx.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like fx is equal to g is equal to g or f minus fx.
Eh? Sorry, what?
Yeah, g of minus fx.
G of minus fx. Yeah, both are different. Yeah. Both are different.
Yeah,
you will learn. Yeah, this is a part of composite function. This topic will come into week 6. There we will discuss about this. Okay. Hold it
Then
for now.
in PYQs, some questions are from there.
In this fashion.
Yeah, ma'am.
So actually, what is this? This g of f of x means that first apply f on that particular value. So suppose if your f of x is equals to x square and your g of x is equals to x minus 1, then this g of f of x means first apply fx over x. So that means you have to compute g of x square and then put apply g on this x square. So that will be equal to x square minus 1. That means apply function one by one. First apply fx, take output, and then on that particular output apply g and then take your output. So this is your x square minus 1.
The question is only g of x is equal to minus f of x. That's all they're given in the question. It's not something like this one. So it is
right, because composite function
of,
should not be there.
Yeah, f of x is given and g of x equal to minus f of x is what they given.
So both things are same, no? I mean, f of x is equals to minus g of x here.
Ma'am, the graph which you show, no, can you please show that again, ma'am? Because there is one question asking whether there is a y-intercept in that one, so that we can, I can take a snip of it and then answer that one.
Yeah. This one. Y-intercept. This is the y-intercept of this graph. And if it is minus 4, then it should be plus.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there's one question I have to answer then in the chat. Okay, so I mean, I think week 4 finish it at over all the graph discussion type of thing, correct? Now
Hello,
there's
ma'am.
one question here. Yeah.
Ma'am, I have a doubt between the local minima and local maxima.
Okay.
That
Local
one
minima,
thing,
local.
and I really don't remember that where I came across the term negative graph and positive graph.
Negative graph?
Yeah, negative
Actually,
graph is negative between this interval and graph is positive between this interval, kind of thing.
Negative graph. I think negative graph means it is situated over the negative y-axis. I think that's the meaning of negative graph, because I haven't heard. Negative graph means the y values are negative.
Okay.
Values are
negative. I have a question. Where?
In the.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, which question?
Yeah, ma'am. There's two line 1 and line 2, and their intersect point is P, and line L is going from P. And question is asking to equate the equation of line L.
Yeah, you can answer that, right? Equation of finding the point of intersection you can judge, right? And there should be other information which will tell you about the slope or any other point, right?
Yeah, slope are same of both lines.
So the slope is there, the point is there, so you can find out the equation of line.
I do it, but every time my answer is getting wrong.
Okay, so you just cross check it. It's not that I don't think, I mean, point of intersection you can calculate. Slope is given to you. Then equation of line also you can calculate. Just try it once. If you don't get, you have all the solutions, right? You can find that question in the solution.
Excuse me, ma'am. Actually, there's one request to you. Ma'am, can you please share your mail ID with us so that if we have any doubts, we can send you that on now.
Okay. Mail ID, because then I have to constantly reply your mail. But
because ma'am, actually now we don't have open session for maths this week. This was the last one. So if in any question that we come across in maybe 2-3 days, so there will not be any class.
That's true, but okay, so what?
Ma'am, is there any other way where we can like ask our doubts?
You can put, you
Discourse?
guys don't have
Discourse,
discourse.
what
No,
about
no, ma'am.
discourse?
Actually, we don't have access to discourse now, so we
Because
won't be
you are not qualified student, I think that's why. Let's see what I can do. Because see, if I give you my email ID, then it will get circulated overall. I mean,
right,
you know
ma'am.
what will be the issue.
Yes, ma'am. I can
So
understand.
see, what can I do?
Sure.
Or ma'am,
You can
if
join Telegram groups for doubt clearing. Other students can help you. There are many Telegram groups.
Yeah, you can join Telegram groups, RV, I think.
Even I use those for clearing my doubts. Many seniors and students help each other there.
okay, I will. Okay.
Today's session, PYQ session, after that 4
Yeah,
p.m.
so sorry,
He
what?
sent his mail ID for clarifying the doubts. TS mail
Okay,
ID.
okay.
I will
Okay, so
send to
TA
you,
have given
ma'am.
you mail
You
ID.
can give to her.
Yeah, I can I can copy this message. Also, I have opened the chat for everyone. So that Telegram group someone was telling. So you can just paste the link over here so that everyone can join that group, and you can, if the seniors are there, I think they can clear your doubts also.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So yeah, about local maxima minima. So local maxima means, so suppose this is your graph. Right. So in this graph, what is happening around this point, if you compute the value around this particular point A, then you know that this is the highest point a function can achieve over this particular small ball. So such kind of values are known to be local maximum. Suppose this point around this point also, the point at the point B, the value of function will be minimum. So this is local minimum. Local minimum means it will possess a minimum value over some small neighborhood, not over the all over the graph. Suppose this point is the global minimum, but this is the local. Local means in the neighborhood, this will be the either the maximum point, the maximum value, or the minimum. Okay, someone asked about local maximum minimum. Okay, fine. Yeah, there is one question. Gosh, someone asked that.
Yes, ma'am, I
Consider a
asked.
figure. This is the graded one.
Yes, ma'am, week 2. Yes, ma'am, of week 2.
Measured in clockwise direction. So here you can find out the line which is joining this MiG-21 toward whatever tank is there, na? That thing. So this equation of line you can find, and I think it be the point. Let me share my screen first. So this is the last question. I'll share the PDF over the chat also. And I also upload this PDF on the calendar. So if you guys need, you can check that. So it says that consider something from this height is given to us 2800 meter from origin. So the air defense system is located at a distance of 400 meter from origin. So this is the air defense system. The missile is fired from here toward the warship and it follows the straight line path. Okay. So the missile takes angle 45 degree measured over clockwise direction. So that means, so this is the 45 degree angle. So if this is the 45 degree angle, what is the remaining degree angle? So it will be 80. It is 125. So this can give us the slope, right? Slope is tan of this. If you compute tan of, or you can compute tan of pi minus, pi is 180, 180 minus 45. So this is our this particular thing, it will be minus
That
of
would be
tan of
135.
45.
It would be 135.
Again, that will be minus 1. If you compute, it will come to be minus 1. So this is your slope. That means the slope of this line will be minus 1. And the one point is given to us, which is this point, 0,2800. So using these two conditions, we can find the equation of line for this path, correct? Now missile take angles with the ground if it is ship. The air defense system for S400 track the path of missile and fire. Okay. So having the slope 2. So that means here this line is given that this line slope is 2, and it's also started from this particular point which is 400, 0, correct? Again, we have much information. So now let P be the point where a missile hits the following. So what is the question? We have to find out the value of P. Is that the question?
Yes, ma'am. It is a part of question, but we have to find the speed. The main thing is we have to find the speed. There is another screenshot. Yes, ma'am. I have sent 2 pictures.
This one? So if the speed of missile is this meter per second, then what should be the speed of the missile? So that should is point P. Okay, so speed you have to calculate, right? What is the speed? Is there mention of any time, how much time it will take? I think we have to consider something else. Okay. So I think it will take time. This question actually takes time. Let me see what can I do.
Can you
Because first I have to consider that, yeah, someone if they have solved this, they can give a hint.
I solved, madam. Madam, they have given the solution. that
Okay,
people
so if
can
they are
consider.
given the solution, just please go and check because it will take time if I try to do it.
There is no recording for it.
You
They have
you can find the
provided.
solution. You can find the solution in the this thing. They have given the solution for GA also.
Okay.
Just
Yes,
you
they
have
have given.
Okay.
Is it easy to
So you can
understand?
find it.
Then I can. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you put the screen back? That screen that make to 21. Can you like I have a general thing. Can I ask?
No, actually I okay, let me download it again second.
No, like since we have given the slope of that line, the point P, and we have the coordinate like it will be 0 comma this 2800 meter, and we have warship at x comma 0, and slope is given. We can
Correct.
calculate we can calculate the x intercept of the
Correct.
warship.
We can calculate. Actually, we can calculate because this line is known to us. This line is also known to us. So this is nothing but the x-intercept of this particular line. So we can calculate the x.
No, because we are using this system where I am situated.
Okay. Yeah, we can calculate the position of that.
One more thing, ma'am. Like if in the question, if we are getting asked that if it is a mirror image, then we can put a minus sign outside of the polynomial or of the parabola.
You can put because if you are getting mirror image, that means it's nothing but the minus multiplication.
So just we have to multiply a minus with the whole equation.
Correct. Because then only it will be a mirror image.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, what's your doubt, Ayushman?
Ma'am, I had a doubt in practice assignment 4.
This assignment 4.
Submission is there today, madam.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
Ma'am, practice assignment 4, question number 19.
Okay. Yeah, the session is over. If you don't have any doubt, you can leave because already it's 10:15. So.
Ma'am, share this PDF.
Yeah, I'll share it over the calendar. There you can download. Or else just wait for a second. I'll share in the chat.
Okay.
I'll just give you the hint what is possible. Question number 19th, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So here a sheet of dimension is given to you, boxes to you, something. The volume of box. So here you just have to figure out what will be the, the volume of ABCD, correct? And here the small sides are given to you. So just use that knowledge to compute the whatever the cutted region is there and then subtract them. That will be your fine. That's the thing you have. Again, you have to judge for volume, you have to know the height and all those things. So just try it out. Otherwise, you can see the solution. It's not that difficult, but it will take time. A little bit sit and try to understand what will be the height and what will be the length. And there you can find it. I'm not actually.
Ma'am, will these type of questions be there in the qualifiers?
These type of question, it can be there. See, it's not that difficult type of questions, right? I mean, it will take time. So we have to cut it down in such a way that you guys are able to do it in 1 hour, right? So, but yeah, such type of question
There
can
is
be
a
there.
fixed 1 hour only given for a particular segment, or if you finish English earlier, you can use that time.
I'm not sure about that. Is that the thing? As someone has given any exam, they can tell.
You can do. You can
Yeah,
do.
you can use the time. Totally, as for example, you choose 2 subjects, you have 2 hours. You can even finish English in 10 minutes and then do the math in rest of the time.
That's all. Or if it is fixed only 1 hour, then it's a problem.
Ma'am, will there be any negative marking?
No,
No,
there
no,
won't
no.
be negative marking. Just wait a minute. I will share the PDF.
Ma'am, I have a general doubt. Like suppose we are asked for a multiple choice question, like within a question we have 2 or 3 options which are correct. So if we are selecting, suppose there are 3 options which are correct, but we have marked only 2. So like we will be rewarded as a 0, or like how it will be?
Yeah, you will be rewarded as 0 because the credit only, I mean, you will get the credit only if you mark all the options. That is
Ma'am,
the
there is
case.
no partial mark.
It's
The
a
graded
CBT type
assignment.
of exam, right? So we can't give you partial markings for that.
Yes, ma'am. I guess they mentioned that maximum mark is 5 in the above the questions. That means the max mark is 5. That means we have a minimum mark like 2, 5.
No,
Partial
actually, this
credit
is
is
not the
given,
case.
madam, in case of all the graded assignment. In
Yes,
graded
same thing.
assignment, they have given partial credits.
I guess the partial credits are there.
In the end term, I haven't seen. Let me cross check with sir. I'll let you know. But when I'll let you know. See, I'll ask.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can I mean, I think the session is gone on it. So can I ask you the doubt? Text you in direct section.
Your voice is not that clear. Can you?
Hello, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah, now you are audible.
Yeah, can I ask the question? I have requested you to spare 1 minute.
Right.
Yeah, but actually, see, there is a confusion for me in taking up the course as a qualifier to BS degree and starting the course as a diploma. That is the first initial thing.
Okay.
So, is it the weightage the same when it compared to the placement, or how this is suggested? Like I've asked other people, they said that you are, you are Vishal sir is the right person to share the details.
I mean, you actually switch from degree to diploma. So you want to know that what will be the
No,
placement
I'm
weightage
not
for both.
switching actually. I just want to choose a particular course because as a I'm a working employee, madam. Okay, I find time very less actually. 3 hours only I can spend per day because from 9 to 8 I will be in the office. Today also I hurried up and I started at 8:15 only the session. Okay. So I'm not able to, I cannot spend 4 years to, complete the degree. Okay. So there are exits I know, but on the placement perspective, as a fresher when we enter into data science, so is it good enough to go ahead with the diploma particularly, like, or it is it is a good idea to start from the scratch, from qualified to BSc.
Actually, I'm also not the right person to say this, but I
Sam,
think.
Sam, can I answer your question, please?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please.
Okay, let's see. Actually the whole course is a flexible course, as you know that from the date of registration, you have 9 years to complete the course. So this is actually bearing in mind like the working people and so on. They have kept this given this leverage where again based on the people's capability. When it comes for the job market and so on, it's a dynamic thing. And when you are talking about diploma degree, again, it is actually this has been answered in one of the orientation. It's about the individual personal capacity. It cannot be actually generalized. That's what they say, because based on your experience and based on your qualification, things obviously will differ. Maybe you finish one diploma in programming, and you get an opportunity. And whereas even if you finished after 2 diploma, you may not end up in a job, whatever the right kind of a job. This is the regular thing. That's how the
No,
job market thing is.
the quality of education, I mean, I'm asking actually.
No,
See,
no, that's what.
when
Let
you
me come to
see,
that.
actually, sorry for the interruption. Just can you
Yeah,
please
yeah.
hear me out? What I'm actually, asking is actually, as per the orientation, they have shared Kaggle project. That is almost, similar to a project, which is, they can call it not a live project, I believe, if I'm not wrong. So that Kaggle project, when you see the weightage seems to be very less compared to a live project, like when you do a project in a company. So there are two, programs, that is diploma in programming, where I'm not going to take that. I'm just going to take diploma in data science, because I am working as a data analyst and a product manager in a company. So I just want to explore into data science. So I thought that this, IIT courses will be much better. So on that perspective, because I'm frankly speaking, I'm 33 now. Okay, so I need to spend maybe 2 more years, so I'm 37. Okay, so after that, I don't know the job, whether it will be suitable for my age. As the entry level itself, it is already gone, right? Hello.
Okay. Okay.
So
Now
that is the
yeah.
only
Now that the
request.
thing is,
Yeah, please.
okay. Now that I understand. So now you have registered for a BS course, am I right? This is for the BS course. The one, the foundation that we are actually, what's happening now, this is a BS course. Whereas that called a separate direct diploma course, that is actually separate. Again, there is a separate examination where in which you get into that stream.
Correct.
Whatever the stream you are talking about,
Correct.
which actually will save time. Maybe now that, because when you are applying, when you are first time when you have applied, I do not know, maybe you have applied for both, for BSDS and diploma, because normally
No,
they
sir.
will open
No,
for
I am
application.
not aware, sir. I was not aware of that. I would have taken that actually, because of the constraint in the, the time what I have with me. Okay, so I don't know whether, because when I contacted the customer care, they are saying we will not be able to do BS degree after the diploma 1 and 2. First direct entry to diploma. But on the orientation, sir said that we can go for BS degree. There is where I get a confusion. So the schedule also has given me
No. See,
little.
let me finish it. That's how it works. That's what I wanted to say. The program here is like the foundation. You start with it. Once you complete the foundation, then you go for diploma. The first diploma, second diploma. That actually now from May 2024, they have set a criteria whether to even to enter for a degree, you should have a certain CGPA. Then only you can, even though you want to enter, they have put a cutoff for that. Then only people are eligible for joining the this thing, the degree, the BSc I'm talking about. Even after you finish two diploma, then if the cutoff should be there to be eligible to join for a BSc. Else, as the case may be, then you can take one or two papers to uplift your marks, and then you become eligible. Then you can proceed with the BSc degree. After the BSc degree is the BS degree, which is if you are talking about the time, the full 4-year time is the fastest time that you are talking about, and I'm talking about the maximum time is 9 years here, 4 to 9 years. And when you're talking about direct diploma, the stream is entirely different. Maybe in that case, because normally the call is, maybe you can go to the website and you can see there may be a call now for a direct diploma, and they will send a separate call for that, and you apply through that. And there is again, as I told you, there is a separate exam for that to get enrolled and do so on. So that this stream is entirely different, and direct diploma is entirely different. Now the foundation course is towards the degree course and not towards the diploma that you are talking about. Yes, you can get out with a diploma after your foundation, then you finish your first diploma, get your certificate, and you can go. Or as you said, like you want just one diploma to be finished, you can take your diploma and finish your diploma and get your certificate. Then you can say, okay, you can take the job. Or if you feel so that you want to continue, again you go for the next one, then you finish that also, then you become eligible for BSc, then for the BS. That is how the whole the thing. Maybe if you go to the IIT website itself, BSDS website, they have put a clear flow chart of how you can actually, how
No,
things
no.
proceed.
I have sorry, I have gone through the entire orientation. I'm very much aware of the curriculum. I have gone through the complete course details. I am just asking on the quality and the weightage when it's compared to foundation to BS and only diploma directly. I just want that clarification.
No, that's what foundation is a very, very basic thing. You cannot actually even compare the foundation with the diploma. That's what I want to say. Foundation is a very, very basic thing where they teach only the fundamentals that for the whole diploma level itself. The math and if a math, English, and stat, whatever you see, that's what they say. It's very, very fundamental that based on your 10th and 12th up to 12th. That's how they are just giving you the basic foundation. You cannot compare a foundation with a diploma, because diploma is something where in which they think people already have experience in that. Even the criteria is different, and you need to go with another type of a rigorous approach for that. So you cannot compare a foundation with the foundation. You just get a certificate. You won't be able to, whatever the job you are talking about is not something that you can think about. Only after a diploma or a BSc or a BS, you can think about a job market that you are thinking of, from a job point of view that you can think about. Just foundation is just the fundamentals of all this thing. With foundation, you cannot apply for anywhere. Unless otherwise you have some other degree already, as in say that you can say that I am pursuing this course. So you cannot compare a foundation course with a diploma.
Yeah. I'm from a mathematics background. I've done my, usually in MCC. Okay. So as per that, so maybe I thought that maybe I can, go with diploma directly. So I just, had a clarification. Thank you so much for updating me and sparing great time. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm sorry. Hope I'm not took others' time also in this case. Thanks a lot.
Ma'am, I have a general doubt, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you suggest that what kind of question, what will be the helpful tips for the exam that we have on 27th of October? Yeah, what kind of, what will be things there, like from your previous exam? If you have cleared this mathematics, then you would have known that what kind of questions will be there and what we should do to clear the exam.
See, just go through the. If you have gone through the practice assignment, graded assignment, I think question won't be difficult for you. The level will be same as practice assignment, and the question will be mostly straightforward. You just have to think about the concept. What is the concept known to you, and then go for the question. I don't think it will be that tough.
Actually, practice assignments, graded assignments are quite tough compared to
graded assignment are quite tough. That's why I'm saying level will be of practice assignment. There will be one question or two question which is little bit tough to think. So if you come across that question, just skip it and go at the end of the paper. Or if you are lucky, then I don't think there will be. In the case, I mean, mostly it happens that there will be always one or two question which is very tough to tackle, right? So if you find out some question, just skip it and do it at the end. So I mean, do it in order that first easy question, then tough question, and then tough question. Although if you stuck in one, then if the time is gone, then there's nothing we can, take up. So that one thing you can say.
Ma'am, there will be much calculations, more calculations, or it will be an easy thing.
No, there will be not much calculation because we don't want to judge you over your calculations, right? We want you to judge your over concepts. So I don't think there will be much calculations.
I have a mentor who is pursuing this degree. He's already getting a degree. So he told me that there will be not much of calculations. It will be a conceptual kind of thing.
Right. Because obviously calculation anyone can do calculations. So we don't want to judge you over calculations. So there won't be that tough calculations.
Because I have to make a one-day travel. That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
Ma'am, only maths is tough, right? Otherwise, other things are relatively easier.
That I don't know. I only know about maths.
Hello, ma'am.
May I?
Yes, Shweta.
Ma'am, have you explained maxima and minima?
Yeah, I told that maximum, local maxima, local
I got
minima.
disconnected, so okay, I will watch in a YouTube video. Okay, not an issue.
Yeah, although local maximum, local minimum is nothing, but over a small neighborhood, you have a maximum value. That is local maximum. That's
okay.
all.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Bhumi.
May I, ma'am, speak?
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to ask from which week the most questions might come in the quiz one? Like it might be a 3 or 4 or 1 or 2.
No. So the case is the questions are distributed evenly over each week now. So you'll find out 3-3-3 or 3-3-4-3, something like that. I mean, the weightage will be similar to all the weeks, mostly similar. So
and
the 50
ma'am,
marks
how
is there.
many questions will be there? Like 15 to 20
12
questions?
to 15. No,
12
not
to
15 to 20. 12 to 15.
Okay, miss. Thank you so much.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, suppose there are like multiple choice question and there are more than one answers. Suppose I have chose two options and one incorrect. Will it be scored as 0 or
I
it will
don't think
be
it will be scored at 0 only, because so far I know it will be scored at 0. But I'll answer this one again. Let me check. But you assume that it will score as 0.
May
So
I
just
hear?
be cautioned. Yeah.
I think what you said is correct. At the same time, I think if you actually not chosen if you have chosen out of if there are two correct answers and you have chosen one, then for that you may get half an answer, half a point. But whereas whatever you told that if you chose one wrong and one right, you will get a negative answer for that.
Okay, okay. Okay, got it.
There's one more question.
No, ma'am. In the mock quiz, I have given the answer for like suppose there are three correct answer and I have only selected two. If I given the two like as a right, but third I have not selected, they are rewarding the number as a 0. They are telling that
Yeah,
clearly
that's the thing.
that you
I'm
are not.
also not sure about this, because
No,
as far I know, but
I asked with my mentor now, so he told me that mostly you have to select all the correct options. It is not like that you have missed out one. You have to select all the options.
Right.
Well,
You have
I
to
think
select all
pattern
the
they have
options,
changed
I
now.
think.
The pattern has changed now. Then okay.
Maybe. I mean, I'm also not sure about this.
Yeah, because till the last this thing we were discussing, people used to say that's the same thing. I also thought my thing is wrong when I choose the thing. Then they say this is how it works out. Maybe pattern has changed here.
For this
They will
course,
not
actually, I
reward.
don't know. For
Will not
they
reward
won't reward, I
any.
think, any credit for. In other, just for example, Maths 2 is there. So Maths 2, they will give some partial marking. For
That
mathematical
also gives
thinking,
it.
also they will give
Yeah,
partial marking.
CT
For
and
Maths
stat.
1, I don't know. Stats also gives the partial marking, I think, right?
Yeah, stats gives it.
This
Miss,
one I don't know. Yeah.
This answer I'm also hearing for first time.
What documents do I need to take with me? Like hall ticket has to be color Xerox, and something else document do I have to need take with me to the exam center?
Only one identification card.
It's
Only
given
Aadhaar
there
card,
in the
PAN
hall.
card, or
Yeah.
identity card.
Need that be a color Xerox, or it has to be mandatory
No,
original?
original.
Doesn't matter. It's up to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
No, they ask for a color Xerox if they are very specific about that in some of the.
Please take your ID card which is having a clear date of birth. If you don't have a clear date of birth, then they will not allow you to go inside. You should have the whatever date of birth is mentioned in the application. It should be in the ID card also.
Does that mean it's the same criteria like JEE Advance and means any exam or that thing, right?
Yes, typical.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, so I'll end the session here because it's already
Thank you. It's a
10:40.
long. Yeah, it's a long time. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Good
Thank
night.
you, ma'am. Good
Bye.
night.
All the
Good
best.
night, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.